Hello, welcome to another lesson in After Effects. In this lesson, we're going to draw shapes and animate them in unison. We're going to draw a stem and two leaves, and they are going to rise up out of the flower pot to meet our falling star flower. We'll start by going to 420 in the timeline. And this is where our flower has completed drawing. We're going to click on the word fill up in the timeline after we click on the pen tool. So let's click on the word fill and select none for fill. Then we'll click on the stroke box and we're going to make our stem green. So we'll click on, let's see, red 27, green 91, and blue 8, and click OK. Now we want this stem to be a little wider than 2 pixels, so let's say 3 pixels. Now we're going to click just below the rim of the flower pot to create our initial vertex for the stem. Then we'll click in the center of the flower, but I'm not going to let go of the mouse button. Instead, I'm going to drag the Bezier handle to create a curved stem. So the next thing we want to do is we want to rename this layer. So we'll click on Shape Layer 1, then press either Enter or Return on your keyboard and rename this stem, Enter, Return. And then with this layer selected, click the letter P on your keyboard to bring up the position properties and click on the stopwatch. So that creates a keyframe here at 420, which is where we want the flower and the stem to end up. Now we'll go to 3 seconds in the timeline. And here we're going to use a symbol I've not used before with you. It's the left square bracket, and I can't show you that on my keyboard, but if you look at the letter P on your keyboard, it's the symbol right next to it, and it's the one that's not capped. So at this point, you want to click on either Alt, left square bracket, if you're using Windows, or Option, left square bracket, if you're using Mac. And you see that gives us a starting point. So now, let's drag the stem down using the selection tool. And also you want to press on the Shift key to make sure it goes straight down. And we're just going to drag that below the rim of the flower pot here at 3 seconds in the timeline. Now we'll draw some leaves. And for this, we're going to, first of all, let's hide the properties here and deselect all layers. Then go back to clicking on the pen tool up in the tools panel, and we're going to do the opposite in terms of color of what we did before. We're going to click on the fill box, and we're going to make our leaves the same color green, which was red 27, green 91, blue 8. Click OK. Then we'll click on the stroke word because we don't want a stroke for this, so we're going to click on none. Click OK. And then we're going to create an initial vertex right here, sort of by the base of the stem, and a second vertex up here. But again, I'm not going to let go of the mouse key. I'm going to drag the Bezier handle to create a leaf shape. Deselect. Once again, click a initial vertex near the stem, a second vertex, hold and drag to create a second leaf. And we'll deselect again. So now what we want to do is we want to rename these shape layers. Shape layer 1, return, enter, and we'll rename this leaf 1, return or enter. Again, shape layer 2, either enter or return, depending on your keyboard. Rename it leaf 2 and enter or return. And now we want to do that again with the left square bracket. We want to shift, select leaf 1 and leaf 2 and press either the Alt left square bracket if you're using Windows or Option left square bracket if you're using Mac. So that sets all these layers at the same starting point at 3 seconds. Now we want these to be behind the flower pot so that we don't see it rising until it actually comes up out of the pot. So to do that, we're going to Shift select stem, leaf 1 and leaf 2 and drag them below the flower pot base. So you see now they've disappeared. And we're going to use one more symbol we haven't used before, which is the pick whip symbol. That's this symbol here. First, we'll deselect all layers. Then we want to drag the pick whip symbol from leaf 1 down to the stem layer. You see a little blue line is drawn, and the stem layer has a box around it. So we know that it's going to that parent layer. So now the stem is the parent layer of leaf 1. Leaf 1 is the child. We could do the same for leaf 2. You can either drag it or you can just click here and click on stem. So now both leaf 1 and leaf 2 are child layers of the parent stem layer. And we can try to preview this and see what happens. See the leaves and the stem rise up to meet the flower. And that's all we're doing for this lesson, but in the next lesson, we're going to create a null path to connect points. And that sounds more complicated than it is, but I hope you'll join me. Thank you for watching.